Brian and I have been married for 13 years, and we have 2 children, Eli, who is 6, and Allie, who is 3. We wanted to take a few minutes and tell you about what C3 has meant to us. In our 13 years of marriage, we've had a lot of really good times and some really devastating low times. Our family's always been very active in church, but Brian's a pastor, so you'd probably expect us to be pretty active in church.
Aimee, we've always been involved in ministry. We've always been involved in helping other people out, but we never really did a very good job of taking care of ourselves spiritually. And I was never really the spiritual leader of the household that God had called me to be. My inability to lead my family almost cost me my family. I spent more time speaking at youth conferences and youth events and hanging with teens and counseling families than I actually spent being a husband and a father. And the people who actually mattered most in my life were the people who felt like they mattered the least.
We were pretty much headed for divorce. And the most devastating thing about that for me was the thought of having to split time between our kids, not getting to see my children every day. And I was really, really exhausted at the lowest point of our marriage because he was still pastoring, and I felt like I had to pretend like everything was okay all the time. So I spent a lot of time acting like things were really good when in reality things were really horrible. And it just came to a point where I just couldn't hold it together any longer. I was just too exhausted, and I just couldn't fight for our marriage anymore.
So I left the ministry, and sadly to say, it wasn't to fight for our family and to put it back together. It was actually to prepare for our divorce. We actually spent some time separated, and then after a couple months apart, we actually decided to give our marriage one last try. Actually, our very first Sunday back together was our very first Sunday here at C3.
And when we came to C3, we were just very broken and very hurt. And we needed a lot of healing, and luckily we found that here. The biggest thing that's helped us the most has been the small group we were involved in. We, for the first time really in our marriage, we got to actually be in a small group, and instead of leading or being in charge of it, we actually got to sit back and kind of take part in something and be ministered to. We developed a lot of friendships in our small group, and those friendships have really helped to kind of heal our marriage.
So what if C3 didn't exist? Our marriage as we know it now and our family, it wouldn't exist either.